Welcome to Ecommerce Revamped, where we break down the hottest trends, insider tips, and strategies shaping the future of e-commerce. Powered by Miva, the engine behind seamless online stores. Now here are your hosts, Rob Stanley and Rick Wilson.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Ecommerce Revamped. Of course, I got my co-host and good friend Rick Wilson with me, and we got another amazing guest. We're just killing it actually with these great guests. Let me tell you, it's going to be actually one of our big speakers at Camp Miva, and we're going to be talking about some incredible AI stuff. So Ritu Java is with PPC Ninja. We're going to have Ritu come in just a second, but we're going to be talking about AI evolution in 2025 and mastering the tech mindset, which is going to be a really cool episode. And let's bring Ritu in and get started. How about that? So, hey, Ritu, how are you?
Hello. How's it going, guys? Rick and Robbie,
Doing great.
how's it going?
Yeah,
It's
doing great.
going awesome.
So Ritu has this amazing newsletter, which I got to just plug right off the get-go. So I've been following Ritu for many years, but especially the AI newsletter, I've been I get tips from there. So that's how cool that is. Even though I'm not a seller currently or anything like that, but there's some really cool tips in there for marketing. Actually,
Oh, Robbie, you're always selling, Robbie. It just may not be on Amazon right now.
ABC always be
That's right.
closing, or ABS always be selling. That's me. Absolutely.
That's right.
So we are here today to focus on AI evolution, mastering the tech mindset. So Ritu, I want to kick off with a quick question on what AI techniques can e-commerce marketers use to boost their impact, like in the for the company.
Mhm. Yeah, so I've been experimenting a lot with workflow automation. And what I mean by that is that you have a series of tasks that you want to get accomplished. And traditionally, it would be several people that, touch that task in different ways. Like, let's say it's a social media posting activity that happens, let's say once a week or twice a week. There's several components to it. Let's say you want to have someone design the image, someone write the caption, and then someone else goes and posts it and then engages with that content. Now imagine being able to take all of those pieces and just automating them. So you're setting up a workflow from beginning to end. That starts with a trigger, of course. Someone has to create the image. Now that could be a human in the loop, and that person simply uploads an image file to a location, and then you have an automation that picks up. It's literally reading whatever is in that folder, whatever has been uploaded to a folder, and then it is then taking the next action of passing that image on to an AI like ChatGPT or any other, and then that generates all the captions and the hashtags and the emojis and makes it ready to go, and then it kind of forwards that to just Facebook through an API. So all of these pieces are automatable. In fact, I've just finished doing it for our agency, and we're helping our clients. Like with social media, etc. This is a workflow that can be entirely automated with the help of a lot of these workflow automation tools, and the amount of time you can save just by setting these things up like once and then just leveraging them over and over and over again is just phenomenal. Like the kind of things that you can do now with automation was always there, but now you can layer in the aspect of AI, where AI does the creative parts that humans used to do earlier. So I think these are workflow automation is my favorite way to kind of use AI right now, because it's saving my team a lot of time, and it can save businesses a lot of time. And there's no dearth of ideas. There's just literally no dearth of ideas when it comes to automating little things. So I just like to say that if there's anything that you're doing 3 times or more, it's worth automating. So I don't know if that
I think that's a great way to
going.
start. We obviously both at Camp Miva, but just in general, AI has been a big topic and will continue to be. The way I view it, and I'm really glad we set up the topic this way, because it really is mastering a mindset. Any engine or tool we talk about today may be irrelevant by the time someone sees this, which could even be as soon as tomorrow. You just don't know. But the most important thing here is our ability to create technology that helps us scale, and that is like technology has always helped us scale. Going back to the printing press, but the fact of the matter is, what's happening right now that I think most people haven't got their head around is that it is allowing you to scale without a human, that lower mid-level white collar role that used to be, 40, 60, 80 grand a year for someone who could speak properly in English or whatever language they're supposed to speak. And suddenly now you have a virtually free, exceptionally gifted author who just needs the prompts.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I like to think that we all have access to an unlimited resource pool. Like we can literally create these employees that we never had previously, So it's like not only is it helping us save time in tasks that we do on an ongoing basis, but it's also helping to create tasks or create employees or skills that we never had in the organization. So that's actually a great way for any kind of business to expand into new areas, into being able to do more stuff. And it's just phenomenal, the age that we're in right now. It's just giving us so many opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Ritu, I do, before this question comes up, because somebody's going to ask it, you were talking about flow and automation like that. What is your current favorite kind of either tool or service you're using to kind of connect all these together to make that flow happen that you talked about earlier?
Yeah, so I like Google App Script. So I like the Google ecosystem, and I'll explain that in just a second. But there's another kind of off-the-shelf product called Make.com. It's very similar to Zapier, but it's already surpassed Zapier in many ways, and I'll explain that as well. So I like these two systems. And I think, Rick was talking about mindsets earlier. So one of the tech mindsets or tech concepts that you need to understand is that you can literally connect anything to anything with the help of APIs or pipes or anything that has authentication built into it on either side. If you can master that concept, then you can be free. Like it's literally freedom when you know that, hey, you just have to do things over here and you just need to give permission to that other thing over there. And all these pipes will make sure that your information is flowing from one end to the other. So Google has been absolutely amazing at automation from the past. Like it's not anything new. It predates AI, and Google App Script is this scripting environment that sits on top of your Google ecosystem. So a lot of us have, Gmail and like a Google app space or workspace that consists of many different tools like Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Looker Studio, Google BigQuery, and so on. So there's a lot of these Google Forms and so on. So now what's happened is that, these app scripts were not accessible to normal people like you and me. Like we're not like programmers, right? But app script writing is like a breeze for AI, for generative AI. And so I actually started, actually 2 years ago, I started creating these app scripts with the help of ChatGPT. And the reason why ChatGPT is so good with these app scripts is because it is trained on all the materials and the documentation that Google has put out. It's already trained on all that. So it's very easy for you to just say, okay, I want something that does this, and then it'll spit out the code for it. And then you just plug it into the Google App Script environment and then just run it, and then it'll run. So that's where the AI comes into the automation system that already existed. So Google had already made automation super easy, but it was inaccessible to most people. So you might say, oh, but I don't understand programming. That's okay. I'm trained I'm an engineer by background, so I do understand the basics of programming, but I don't identify as a programmer. It's not what I do day in, day out. But with the help of a little bit of guidance, you're actually able to kind of direct. You're like a director now. You're just able to direct the LLMs to produce a certain output. And let's say they fail. Let's say there's something weird and wrong in their code. You can always throw an error back at them and say, this didn't work. So, ChatGPT will fix that. Or nowadays I'm using Claude more than ChatGPT. So it'll fix it. And then you can plug it in again and try it again till you get the result that you're looking for. So that's the kind of Google app script world, and it can literally read all your emails. It can pick up anything from any document in your drive, and it can do all kinds of fun things in a safe environment, because once you've given Google your credentials, it's staying within the Google system, right? You're not like using an external app. It's safe. It's like within that system itself. So I think that's one of the kind of new mindsets that I'm evolving along with my team. Like I've got people on my team who are not exactly programmers, but they're writing these programs with the help of LLMs, and then they're running it. They're running automations, crazy good automations that I can share some examples. But basically, just wanted to say that that's where I'm spending a lot of my time, making sure that I can create as many workflow automations as possible with Google. And then on the other side, I also mentioned make.com. Again, make.com is, connect this with that with the help of some pipes. And those pipes are kind of natively created within make.com. There's hundreds and hundreds of connections. Like if you want to connect, let's say, Google Sheets to ChatGPT, or ChatGPT to Facebook, or ChatGPT to Instagram, all of those connections are pre-built. All you need to do is authenticate on either side and pass some variables on from one end to the other so that it knows how to repeat that automation over and over again. And it's just amazing. Initially, it took me a while to kind of get to the point where I can feel comfortable with make.com, but now it's a breeze. Like now I can just literally do weekend projects. And like this past weekend, I just finished like an employee sort of application screening process just in a couple of hours. It was crazy, and it's working. So really proud of being able to do those little projects that save me time, save my team time, and just keep us moving forward.
I think one of the things that I took away from what you were just saying, and it's funny because we have projects at Miva that tie to both of those things. So last week specifically, we launched a Claude-powered chatbot for our developer community that does very similar to what you were describing. So and our documentation isn't as thorough as Google's, but if you're at the director level of knowledge, like you described, you understand the thing you're trying to achieve, you would know where to cut and paste it in Miva. We now have a Claude-powered chatbot that has studied our documentation and our developer docs. And then, if you need to write an if-then statement or whatever else, it'll just create it for you. And on the other side, we just started using make.com to automate some of our marketing newsletters. But where I was going to ask is, or what I was going to say, I think this is really pointing to AI being the great tech equalizer, right? Like you used to have to go, like if, I'm probably a little older than our average listener, but like when I was growing up, you would go study programming and you'd learn C++, and you needed to become an expert in C++ to then have a vision for technology. We have flipped that whole paradigm on its head.
Completely. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think just one thing to kind of on that same point, I just think that at this point, we don't need to know everything. All we need to know is what's possible, and then we can go do it. It's just the way things have evolved. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Ritu, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to have you talked about giving an example, and I'd love for you to give an example of using AI in the marketplace specifically, so some of the e-commerce sellers are on here can understand it, other than Amazon. And we're going to talk about that right after this commercial break.
Ready to revamp your online store? Miva's e-commerce platform offers powerful tools and flexible solutions that grow with your business. From design to checkout, Miva has you covered. Don't just sell, stand out. Check out miva.com/podcast to start building your dream store today.
That's right. Head on over to miva.com/podcast. We have actually a free downloadable for you guys. And it will be changing every month. We'll have some really cool free tips and free downloadables for you at miva.com/podcast. I'm on with Ritu Java from PPC Ninja, and we're talking today about the AI evolution for 2025. And right before the break, I was asking Ritu to give an example, which she had mentioned about giving an example, but using AI in the marketplace other than Amazon, so some of these e-commerce sellers can understand how to do this.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm going to give you an example of, something that a lot of marketplace sellers have to deal with all the time, which is data. Like we have an abundance of data. Oftentimes, we're overwhelmed because, data is coming at us from all sides and at various speeds and so on. And so it's easy to get lost in data and not be able to find your way out. So, what we've done for ourselves and also for some of our clients is that we're big on creating alert-based systems. So, an alert-based system is actually sitting on top of your data layer. So, data layer is just where all your data kind of comes in from different sources. So, for example, you have let's say, from Miva. I'm not sure if Miva exports data into some sort of, external system. If not,
Yeah,
let's
we
take
do.
another
We do.
example.
We
You
either
do?
no, we
Okay,
do. We can export it to CSV, Excel. We have a JSON API. We have lots of
there we
paths
go.
out.
Awesome. So there's an API there, right? So basically, there's a way to get data out of Miva into, let's say, a data layer like a BigQuery data warehouse or any other warehouse of your choice. This is where you get the Miva data. Let's say you also run some other kind of operations on the side that also bring you API-based data. So let's say you have two sources of data that are bringing in data, and you want to combine those two on a timeline and be able to see the impact of one thing over the other. Like let's say you're running coupons or discounts, or you're doing some external social media marketing, and you want to see the dates when you did a certain event or promotion and what impact that had on your Miva sales and so on. So assuming that data is coming in, and you want to create like a anomaly detection system that sits on top of that picks up signals from your data. So you can actually do that. Like we've actually done it with BigQuery. So BigQuery is one of the Google ecosystem tools, and so with the help of AppScript, which I told you earlier, it's just a programming language that can run on top of any Google product. And so in this automation, what you're doing is you're essentially reading your time series data. So time series means anything that has a date on it. It's like, okay, 1st of Feb, 2nd of Feb, 3rd of Feb, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. So a time series data source is really good because you can combine two time series by comparing the dates and merging them. And you're saying, okay, on this date, this happened and this happened in this from this other data stream. And so your automation is something that's looking out for patterns, and it can just generate some sort of report that can be sent to individuals in your organization, like an email that can go out to people who are impacted in any way. So that's like an anomaly detection system, which we created with the help of AI. And when I say AI, I'm mostly referring to ChatGPT and Claude, because Claude is really good with coding. You can just tell whatever you want. Like you can say, hey, I want an app script that will read my table that's sitting inside BigQuery that compares daily sales numbers from X source and Y source. Give me the app script. So it's going to give you a piece of code. You're going to put it into AppScript and you're going to test it. You're going to save it and run it and see what happens. Once you're satisfied with the results, you can improve that AppScript and say, okay, now also send this as an alert to my team members, so-and-so at ppcninja.com, so-and-so at ppcninja.com, and so on. So this whole thing can also be set on a trigger. So within your AppScript environment, there is an ability to set a trigger that says run this the script once a day or once every 15 minutes, whatever your thresholds might be, synchronizing with the frequency of the data as it comes in. So if it's a one daily data that comes in, then you can set a daily kind of trigger. And then all of that comes straight into your inbox. That is mind-blowing. Like being able to do that kind of thing it requires like 3 or 4 steps to be set up. But once it's set up, it's like your team doesn't need to kind of go and check over and over and over again. The anomalies are already found and detected and then emailed to you. How cool is that? And so we've been developing lots and lots of anomaly systems at different levels of the of data. So for example, at the account level, at the whole account level, something happened, your sales have dropped. Okay, so that's something that you can set up as a comparison, month over month or week over week or same day last week, things like that. Or you can drill down further and say, I want anomalies for a particular SKU or SKU, a product, and say, okay, this was, if my sales have dropped by more than, let's say, 50%, week over week, I want an anomaly report. So those are the sorts of things you can do with your data, and it's so powerful because it just kind of takes out all the human labor required, and always watching. That part can just go away, and you can do things that human minds are not capable of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
that's a great example. I mean, that's very much what I was alluding to earlier with things that people just used to be standing around monitoring, so to speak,
Yeah.
and now the monitoring and yeah, you could always have a system monitor this as those servers down or servers up or whatever, but the ability to track anomalies is where the intelligence part of artificial intelligence really makes a difference.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. So Ritu, a quick question for you, because we see this a lot. Rick and I both, actually. So working with a lot of, let's call them smaller companies that sell online, they maybe have an in-house staff of less than 10, sometimes less than 5. What kind of tools or services would you recommend to them, whether it's to help with them make more money or help them modify or streamline some of their, process? What is the first thing that they could do AI world that basically would help them the most and the fastest? I know that's an open question, but I'm sure you see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would, first of all, I would try to understand the business that they're running, and look for areas where they're repeating tasks multiple times. So, for example, if they need to download a certain report from a certain place over and over again, like let's say on a monthly cadence, then they should stop doing that. They should not have to get a human to go somewhere and download it. Instead, quickly set up some sort of data service, and there's tons of them out there that just connect to your source data and bring that data into you, into a destination that you control, right? So that's the very first step that I would recommend anyone who's looking to automate their internal processes and manage their data. And then once they have that data coming in, then they can set up other types of automation that read that data and produce certain useful analyses, for example, or just give you a snapshot or give you a report or an anomaly like we just spoke. So those are some of the things that they can do like right away, looking at where the data is sitting currently. And if they're going there to get the data, don't do that anymore. Let the data come to you. So that's the first. Other than that, you can also look, I mean, depending on the type of organization, I'm sure there's tasks that span like creative work, copywriting work, like just social media type of work, research, brainstorming. Like those are some of the different areas. And there's tools that, I have a bunch of favorite tools for each of those. And I just keep this running list of tools that I keep encountering from different sources, and I put it in a spreadsheet. And if I've tested it, I have a checklist that says, or checkbox that says done, 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 which means I've already evaluated this, and I also put my notes in there. So I have that because it's so easy to get lost in the sea of like new tools, and you think you encountered a particular tool in the past, but you're like, I'm not sure if I used it. Did I use it? I'm not sure. So having a running list of tools that your organization is like playing with or has rejected for some reason, and just keeping track of all that would be another thing I would say that everybody does. Now, when it comes to my favorite tools for image generation, let's say you need images for all kinds of things for describing your products or just on social media, etc. I like to use simple tools that don't require a lot of like expertise. For example, Canva AI. So Canva, we all know Canva. It's been around for 15 years or more, but Canva has become this really like it's like a powerhouse because it has 200 plus AI tools built into it. Now, not all of those AI tools are part of Canva. They're external tools, but like Canva has made it possible for you to access them through the Canva interface very easily because like we spoke earlier about APIs, right? So Canva has their own APIs with all of these tools. So it's making it easier for you. And they give you a bunch of like free credits, etc. But if you get serious with a tool, then you can always upgrade just that as an add-on, and then try to get more of that if that works for you. So Canva AI, just keep that as a, jack of all kind of toolkit that I always, I have it for my team as well. The other one for creatives I really like is Ideogram, which is really good for like everyday images, not the fantastic images that you get from Midjourney. Like the Midjourney types are like very creative, like you have like pink elephants flying and stuff like that. Normally unusable other than, if you're an artist or something like that. For most people, you need everyday images, right? So everyday images, Ideogram is really great because it maintains the integrity of text on image, whereas most of the other AI tools will mess it up. The text will look weird, the fonts will be off, something or the other will be off, but Ideogram does a great job there. So that's for images. I would say definitely invest in, at least researching those tools right away. Then when it comes to video generation, I use Sora a lot, which is like from OpenAI, right? So Sora was this thing that everybody was excited about like 10 months ago, but they took so long to release it, but now it has been released. Now it's still not perfect, but it does a pretty good job with a few different, like if you keep at it, you'll get the video that you want. Like it's short clips, but you can tie them together, stitch them together, and build larger videos for your social media or for your even for your products. I also like Kling, which is another kind of video-based tool. Like it helps you to convert like text to video, but it also for people who are in the like fashion industry or like they have the clothing, etc. They can use the virtual try-on feature of Kling, where you can give them a model, either your own or an AI-generated model. You can give them a piece of clothing and just kind of marry the two. So the model just magically wears the clothes and spins around, walks on the ramp, etc., etc. So those sorts of tools exist. So definitely start looking for AI tools that do a certain thing. You can also ask ChatGPT, is there an AI tool that does blah, blah, blah? And you might be able to get just the tool that you need for your business. And then for automation, of course, I love Google Apps Script, like I said, and Make.com. Those two are my kind of favorites. Just a last kind of final favorite from my favorite list is just knowing which LLMs are good for what. For example, ChatGPT is great for like copywriting, for brainstorming, just general kind of discussions, etc., trivia, things like that. But if you want to be more serious with like the coding side of things, then I prefer Claude, Anthropic Claude, which is really good. And I'm seeing it's becoming really good for copywriting as well. So keep experimenting. All of these things are evolving so fast. You never know which one becomes your favorite. And then the third of my favorite LLMs is Perplexity. Perplexity is now integrated also with DeepSeek. So if you're afraid to use DeepSeek directly, you can use Perplexity's connection to their open source version, and it's hosted in the US. So you don't have to worry about all your data going to China, etc. So that's I use Perplexity for research and for like current topics, because often ChatGPT or Claude might be outdated, but Perplexity is very on top of things. Like it kind of knows what's happening on a daily basis as well. So that's my kind of toolkit and recommendation for people who want to get started with AI in their organizations.
Love it. I'm using quite a few of those actually. So
yeah,
It shows.
I learned about a
That's
couple
really
new
great.
ones though just now, so that's exciting. But we're thinking very similarly. We use Claude for programming, and we use ChatGPT for the written word a lot. And yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
In the marketing, we're using make.com, we're using Ideogram, Canva. We have all those integrated too. So yeah, that's awesome. And Sora, I just haven't had a chance to play with, but I've been dying to get my hands in there and time on it.
It's all about figuring out the prompts. Once you get the prompts to create an output you like, then you're off to the races. The first few things I tried were terrible.
Absolutely. Well, that's just like anything, is understanding the prompts to make it, well, we had Steve on garbage in, garbage out, right? You got to put
Yep.
the right code in to get the right thing out. So Ritu, it's awesome having you on. I'd love to kind of shift a little bit over to PPC Ninja. Have you talk a little bit about yourself, PPC Ninja, the services you guys offer, and yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So PPC Ninja, we are an advertising agency. We serve 8, 9 figure sellers. We have been mostly focused on PPC this whole time, but we've realized that, PPC by itself doesn't quite cut it. So you've got to work on the other piece, which is SEO. So you've got to make your listings very, very, they need to stand out, not only for the humans, but also for the AI, because now, a lot of like retailers are getting very kind of savvy with chatbots and things like that, right? So there's ways to communicate with the chatbot, like Rufus on Amazon, or there's an equivalent on Walmart as well. But these chatbots are now becoming your gateway to entering these platforms, and they're also in a way gatekeepers, because whatever these chatbots are trained on is what they will spit out. So if you haven't taken the time or effort to kind of train these chatbots, then you're going to miss out, and people who are investing time in setting themselves up for success, they're going to take the market, right? So what we're doing at PPC Ninja now is also helping with SEO optimization for the AI era, which means we're making their listings ready for not only humans, but also AI tools that are going to be more in line with what people haven't been able to express in a search bar. Like when they type Bluetooth headset, they probably have an image in their mind which doesn't come through with just those 2 words, but now they can literally have a conversation with your chatbot that says, or your your chat assistant, that they can literally say something like, I want this cool over the head pair of light Bluetooth headsets that have a LED glow tinge when I press a button, or whatever. It's a long desire that doesn't come out in those 2 words, and now with the help of these AI tools, you're going to be able to those people are going to be able to find exactly the product that they described in their head and weren't able to describe in a search bar. So what does that mean in terms of like how do we translate those desires and those kind of requirements of a shopper, is by really, really optimizing our listings, which include things like your images, your videos, your backend, your description, your FAQs, comparisons, infographics. All of that stuff needs to be relooked at. It's no longer enough just to get someone on Upwork to do your images and just throw a bunch of pretty looking things. The pretty part of it is less important than the other parts. So you got to make it so that it is you get your visibility and you don't get kind of buried under a mountain of other similar looking products. You've got to stand out, right? So PPC Ninja helps with of course, PPC advertising on Amazon, Walmart, DSP, Google. So those are our main ones right now. In addition, we help with AI AI-fication of listings with the help of images and video and copy so that your listings speak to both humans and the algorithm. And I also run, like Rob mentioned in the beginning, but I run a newsletter which comes out every week, and it's packed with information about what's going on in the space. But more importantly, it's about how you can use AI in your business, right? That's my focus. Like, I like to experiment on myself first before I share with others. And so my newsletter is not just spitting out, the stuff that I'm hearing from here and there, but I'm actually digesting it and testing things out. So you're getting a distilled version of my experiments, and of course experiments of others that have come to my notice, and I'm impressed by them, and I've seen that that they have some value, so I pass those along. So that's my newsletter, and from time to time we also do master classes and stuff like that. I just finished a AI for e-commerce masterclass. It was a paid masterclass that was attended by 250 people, and we still have people saying, "Can I get the replay? Can I get the replay?" And so that's going on right now, which is very cool because people are really hungry for anything to do with AI, because nobody wants to get left behind. And this gap between those who know and those who don't, it's widening. And those who are not, who didn't invest in themselves early on, are literally getting left behind because the jargon is changing, the language is changing, things are moving so fast. So I mean, yeah, I want to serve that space where people are looking to take that leap and jump ahead where they should be, and not get left behind. So that's a little bit about PPC Ninja and what we do and what we care about. It was long, but yeah.
No, it's perfect.
Awesome.
But you know what? Let's make sure everybody knows how to get a hold of you. So let them know the email they can get a hold of you, and also the website.
Yep. That's support@ppcninja.com and ppcninja.com. Those are the best ways to get in touch with us. In addition, I also have the AI newsletter, which is ppc-ninja.com. So it's kind of just a dash in between, but it will get you access to the newsletter, which is free, of course, and you can sign up for it there.
Yeah, perfect. So everybody who's listening, ppcninja.com. So ppcninja.com. And if you want to get signed up for the AI newsletter, it's ppc-ninja.com. That will get you. Did I mess it up? ppc-ninja.com. That will get you the AI newsletter, which I'm on it, subscribe to it. Yeah. And it's absolutely amazing, especially in the marketing world, e-commerce world. You should definitely be on there. It'll help you in many ways to just to tell you all the new stuff coming up, how to, create flows and how to really make your day a lot easier and your work a lot more easier. So Rick, did you have something else you wanted to throw in there? Sorry.
Oh no. Well, I had one thing I was thinking when you were talking is I've even seen how these AI tools, if you're doing SEO, so to speak, for AI, can help you reduce things like returns. So I was shopping on Amazon recently looking for a car stereo for an old car, and it has a unique problem with what size stereo it'll hold. And I put that thing in the search terms, and I still got the wrong results. And so I was looking at something, I'm like, oh, I think I like this one. So I asked Rufus, does this fit this thing? And Rufus knew the answer, which was no. And so it would have, other than be a waste of time, it would have been no skin off my back, but it would have wasted Amazon and the seller's money, because it would have shipped to me, gotten returned, all of that inefficiency. But if you not just train the AIs how to help you sell your product, but how to make sure your product's properly used, everything gets smoother. So I just thought it was another awesome use case of what Ritu was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool. Yeah.
We'd love to thank Ritu for coming on Ecommerce Revamped. We really appreciate it. That was some incredible knowledge. And thanks everybody for tuning in. We have some amazing guests coming up. We're just keep lining them up one after the other, but we'll see you all on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to Ecommerce Revamped. Ready to take your e-commerce business to the next level? Visit Miva.com for the tools to build seamless online stores and unforgettable customer experiences. Until next time, keep your cards full and your